Hello, hello, hello. This is Dr. Bad Vibes, and I thought I'd bring something a little different today. Instead of making fun of crazy stuff, let's talk about something positive, something positively hilarious. So a woman ran the New York City Marathon drunk, and she'd do it again, but she finished it. So a 26-year-old woman ran the New York City Marathon drunk, and she has no regrets. She said she likes to push herself, but drinking to the point of being unable to break any records reminded her that running can be fun, especially when roughly 7 alcoholic drinks are involved. So she says, as a competitive person, I have the mindset that I want to run as fast as I can, but forcing myself to slow down this time, spending time with spectators and friends who came out to support me, made this experience so much better than I thought. She didn't think she'd get the opportunity to run the Bank of America Chicago Marathon and the TCS New York City Marathon 3 weeks apart, since both are hard to get into. That's some dedication. I mean, that's some traveling just to run. The New York City Marathon's lottery has an acceptance rate of 4%, the same as Stanford University. She was able to bypass the lottery and snag up one of the 14,000 slots allocated to charities who give bibs to runners who fundraise for them. But she relied on the lottery for the Chicago Marathon, where 120,000 runners applied for around 50,000 spots. Once she learned she had received a slot, she decided to run for speed there and run for vibes in New York City. I like running for vibes. I wanted to go hard for Chicago because I had a time goal to beat, she said. And so that was what I was focused on. The Chicago and New York City marathons are among the 7 Abbott World Marathon majors, along with Tokyo, Boston, London, Berlin, and now Sydney, which was added earlier this month. They're known for drawing huge crowds of spectators. Chicago has an estimated 1.7 million on-course spectators. That is nuts. I knew they were big, but not that big. And New York has over 1 million. So she raced to meet her time goal in Chicago. She wasn't able to interact with the cheering crowd and friends who came to support her as much as she wanted to. So her goal going into the New York City Marathon was to engage with the spectators cheering her on, especially since multiple friends were going to be joining her. I wanted to eat all the food I saw and then drink whatever the spectators were bringing. That sounds safe. That was my plan going into the race, but I didn't expect how much food and drinks there would be. She started with candy. Then the first guy handed me, I think, a shot of Hennessy. After that, it got really, really lit. Yeah, that's the first thing they tell you in Safety 101. Drink drinks from strangers, right? Especially while you're running. Anyways. Shortly after, 3 people handed her beers, and her friends who came to cheer her on brought another shot of liquor. She detailed her full drunk running experience in a TikTok that has amassed almost 4 million views. In all, she estimates she had 4 or 5 shots of liquor, and then maybe another 4 and 5 half cups of beer, along with a red Solo cup of Prosecco, shown in another TikTok with over 11 million views. Wow. New York City running coach known as Corky in running circles said dehydration is a big concern during a marathon. Yeah, even without the alcohol. She loves a post-race beer, but said alcohol and running generally don't mix well. Yeah, it's a diuretic. Alcohol is a poison. It's a fun poison, but it's poison. Fair enough. And so for a runner, it's going to do a couple of things. First off, it's a diuretic. That's me saying stuff without reading ahead, but that is true. So depending on how much is consumed, it might actually impact the athlete's dehydration. Alcohol can also get in the way of our body's ability to really utilize carbohydrates efficiently. The amount of liquid needed to stay hydrated during a marathon varies across athletes and situations. But she said ideally, most marathoners should be trying to get 16 ounces of fluid per hour. She's also wary of athletes doing something they've never done before on race day since they don't know how their bodies will respond. Well, perhaps this girl trained and built up her tolerance so she could marathon drink on the marathon. We don't know. A marathon is a really big undertaking and a very stressful experience for our bodies mentally, physically, and emotionally. So I would caution tossing in something, like alcohol or weed, because it's already a pretty extreme scenario. I mean, fair enough, but I don't run marathons. It sounds like this girl does, so she may have a better handle on things. If you must consume alcohol during a marathon, she recommends finding drinks with low alcohol content, such as 4%. But the runner was intentional about hydration. I also did stop at every single water station that the marathon provided. I mean, okay, she knows what she's doing. I would chug down 2 cups of water and 2 cups of Gatorade at every station, but I did have to go to the bathroom at least 6 times during the race. and she paced herself with the booze. I mean, okay, she knows what's up. She was just having fun. That sounds fun, except for the running part. This was like during the course of maybe 5 or 6 hours. So I wasn't pounding alcohol within the span of like 30 minutes or something. And even though her body wasn't used to running drunk, her body was used to running. Fair. It was her third marathon, and she said she runs 30 to 55 miles per week. Wow. She said her stomach was surprisingly fine with all the snacks and drinks, since this was her first time consuming anything other than gummies and water and electrolyte drinks on a long run. She finished the marathon in around 5.5 hours, compared to 4 hours and 14 minutes in Chicago a few weeks prior. But hey, she had fun. I met so many cool people on the run, many of them in bathroom lines. I literally ran the whole thing with my best friend. It was her first marathon. Well, I mean, she did her first one in like 5 hours. I mean, that's more than I could say. Being with her and seeing our friends who spent the entire day running around the city finding spots to cheer us on, that just made me so happy. I have no regrets at all. So, hey, that's a feel-good story. Somebody had fun. They did something silly and had fun with it. We need more fun, silly stories. Maybe do more things drunk, except driving or flying or operating things. But have fun. Anyways, I don't know, that made me laugh. I hope it did too. Is there anything fun you've done drunk? Let me know in the comments. See you next time.